but I sent you a tweet during the post game that was from a buddy of mine who covers Ohio State, or he covers it for a fan site, but it was a funny tweet. He said Ryan Day is 56-7 in his career at Ohio State, and all the 7 losses were the only games I care about. And you thought that was insane, but I think there's a large portion of Ohio State fans who watch this game and go, why are you settling for a 52-yard field goal with 38 seconds left and a timeout before halftime? Why aren't you giving special wrinkles that you spend all year inserting into this game? And I don't want to blow the end of the Washington game, but Kalen DeBoer faced a 4th and 1 from his own 29-yard line with a minute left in a tie game and a rivalry game and went for it.
You played to win the game.
And not only did he go for it, but he drew up a play that fooled the cameraman and fooled everybody watching it. Incredible. And it's like, I don't know when I watch Ohio State play Michigan if they do anything even close to creative as it pertains to being aggressive or, installing things specifically for that game. Coaches used to spend all year putting things in their bag to pull out of the bag in this game. And Ohio State just does not out-scheme their opponents. And Ryan Day gets nervous, and he makes conservative calls for a coach that has basically built his entire career, at least getting into the job, as being aggressive and going for it on 4th down and drawing up critical plays that change games, into this guy that considers what Michigan might do if they don't get a first down on 4th and 4 before halftime with 38 seconds left. And I think when you coach that way, it permeates on your team. I think that your team goes into the locker room with a missed 52-yard field goal and 32-degree weather, wondering if their coach trusts them or if they are in a position to actually win. And frankly speaking, if you watch the Ohio State-Michigan game, there were a few breaks that went right and went wrong for both teams. Ohio State most certainly could have won that game. And I think part of the reason why they lost is because their coach scared. Am I crazy?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I think the clear example, obviously, at the end of the first half where you're making some decisions there. We talked about this on the reaction show earlier today, but that play ended with 38 seconds. You had a timeout left in your bag. You've got a 4th and 4. And I said, listen, if you truth serumed everybody on that offense, what would they all think of the decision to pack it in and kick? And I think if you had a chance to get that kick 10 yards closer, 15 yards closer, Ari, you never know. One missed tackle and you're winning at halftime. You don't know. You got, Marvin the Martian out there running the show. He's a pretty good player. He's pretty tough to tackle in space sometimes. I just think the idea that you should just, we're gonna go ahead and kick the 52-yarder in a college game, in an NFL game,
settling for it.
It's
settling for it and accepting it.
Malpractice, but it's poor. It's poor game management.
Your Ohio State special teams has been bad all year. Your kicker has never made a field goal in a college game from that length. It's freezing outside. It's a rivalry game. And by the way, nobody said you had to go score a touchdown, but at least make it more manageable for them so that they get that extra 3 from the 25 instead of the 38 or whatever they were.
Yeah.
And get the 3 points. And then all of a sudden, you're not as frantic at the end of the game needing a touchdown. So it's just, to me, it's like, where's your bag, Ryan Day? Why are you whittling up in these games? And, Ohio State was dancing on the field before the game, and they were excited, and it looked like they were loose, but I feel like that was all fake. Like, it was fake loose. And, I criticized Kyle McCord after the game. I thought the interception that he threw on the 3rd drive of the game that gave Michigan a 7-0 lead was an awful decision and an awful throw. And if that play doesn't happen, then maybe the game goes a little bit differently. But like Ryan Day, I don't know how you fix this. It's not a talent issue. They have these players that, are able to perform, and their coach doesn't put them in the best position to win this game. And it's just, that is the fact. So, you roll your eyes at the notion that they should fire him.
Well, but what should they do? Should they really fire? Should they fire him?
I don't think that they should.
Okay.
But the problem is their coach has a Michigan problem. And if he is going to be tight and it's going to continually end up like this, how do you fix that? And when do you make a move? Like, that's the thing.
I got two things here, Ari. One, I'm going to go get my broken record over elsewhere in my office, and I'm going to remind you that they were a field goal away from winning a national championship.
Nobody cares, Dave.
I know that, but
no one cares.
I'm going here. Hang on. I'm going to remind you that that's on the shelf, right? And I'm also going to say you can't fix the fact that Harbaugh bested you. You can't. That's done. But doesn't your Michigan problem sort of go away next year when this team is depleted and probably doesn't have Jim Harbaugh?
Well, when you have a Michigan problem, you lose to inferior teams. Like John Cooper had better teams than them all the time. He had a Michigan problem, and their seasons got blown away by average.
But Michigan's been better than Ohio State this year, Ari. Michigan's been better than Ohio State this year. He didn't lose to an inferior team today. He probably lost to a better.
No, I'm saying when you have a Michigan problem, you can't say in 365
but that's my
days.
Point. I don't think
you can't say.
I think okay,
yeah. I mean, that's
we're better, and I think that my point about the national championship is that I get it. I'm not saying Ohio State fans have to accept this, but my point is, I get the frustration. I'm not saying you have to accept it, but I don't buy the idea that Day can't beat Michigan and can't win a national championship here, and he's not the guy. And also, if you do want to make a move on Ryan Day, I'm very curious what direction you go. That's not to say Ohio State is not one of the best jobs in the country and wouldn't have a lot of capable, attractive candidates, but there's not really like a home run guy out there that makes a ton of sense that you could definitely pry away.